come out of executive session.
A motion, all in favor say aye. Aye. All right. So in the executive session, we talked about some indigent business and case number 2020214. I'll entertain a motion on that.
I will make the motion to go ahead and agree to the case number 2020214 request.
Okay, we have a motion. Any further discussion? All in favor say aye.
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 Okay.
Do you want me to sign here where it says?
Yeah.
Okay, it said beneficiary, so I wasn't sure if that was us or,
Yeah.
That's you.
I don't know if I'm getting a benefit. All right, Kim, and then send that down to Jason. The next thing coming out of the executive session. Oh, yeah, we can let her finish.
Perfect. Indigent Services Chantel Laulu, case number 202550018. It's an application for cremation expenses by Wilkes Funeral Home in the amount of $1,200. With all of the information I was able to obtain, it does appear that they meet criteria to be eligible for assistance, and there is no responsible party available for repayment of this request at this time. So recommendation is an approval.
Okay, any questions? Motion?
Mr. Chair, I'd make a motion that we approve case 2025018.
Have a motion, any further discussion? All in favor, say aye. Aye. Aye.
Aye.
Okay, in the executive session, we talked about the Ag Protection Board that we interviewed last week, and we found 3 individuals that we'd like to make an offer to or extend the invitation to. So I'll entertain a motion on that. Yeah.
Mr. Chair, I make a motion that we extend the invitation to the 3 people. We interviewed 6 people. We chose 3 and extend an offer to those 3 to be on that board.
Okay, we have a motion. Any further discussion? Okay, all in favor say aye.
Aye.
In the last thing in the executive session, we talked to Buddy Rummerl about some leave without pay for a certain individual, which we all felt like that was appropriate. So Buddy will prepare the appropriate paperwork and bring it back on Thursday for signature and ratification at that time. So with that, now we're ready to go to the assessor.
So Anita Hymas, Bannock County Assessor. We're just here on the letter of cancellation to get your approval and to see if you have any questions on it.
Any questions?
You comfortable with it?
I
With
am.
all the things that are on
Yes,
there?
we are comfortable with it, yes. And we've also, it went by Jennifer, the Bannock County Treasurer, Jennifer Clark, and she was okay with it as well.
I don't have any problem with it, if you don't.
Nope. So take a motion.
I will make the motion to approve those tax cancellation request letters.
We have a motion. Any further discussion? All in favor, say aye. Aye. Okay, thanks for showing up.
Thank you, thank you.
Sheriff Manu will not be here today, but he had 2 items on the list. Oh, Alex is here. Sorry. I didn't see you sneak in, Alex. I apologize.
Good morning.
Keep them straight, will you?
Alex Hamilton, Chief Deputy, Bannock County Sheriff's Office. We've got a couple of items on the agenda. First of all, Sergeant John Everson is scheduled to retire on January 30th, and he's honorably served the county for approximately 25 years, and me and the sheriff are requesting as part of his retirement that we retire his service weapon with him, and we're asking your approval for that.
You sure you want to let him retire?
Well, I don't really want to, but he's not giving us much choice, so. Yeah, he's served both in detention and in our criminal division for many years, so.
Yeah, he's been a great asset.
Yeah, he has a real good asset.
Great.
Talked to him the other day, he's sure looking forward to moving on.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah, good for him. Any further questions on that?
With that, I'd make the motion that we go ahead and accept the request and sign the signature letter for deputy and all the conditions that go with that.
Any further discussion? All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
We've also sent a legal contract, to legal on, from the city of Lava Hot Springs for they have a fire and ice event on February 8th where they're requesting 2 extra officers and 20 hours of extra patrol in the area. That event's getting pretty busy. It's almost as busy as the 4th of July now, so it's a good thing that we provide some extra people to work down there during that time.
That rate on that, is that your overtime rate or is that your
Yes,
normal rate? That you?
that's our overtime rate,
What do you bill them normally for just the normal hours?
the overtime rate.
That's it?
Yes.
Okay, I don't remember.
I mean, not for the normal hours?
Yeah.
Yeah, the overtime rate's that, the normal hours is like $43, I think. I don't have those numbers in
I thought
front of
we
me
were
right now.
higher than that, but
Yeah.
I was just making sure that was
Yeah.
the overtime hours.
Yes, it is overtime rate.
And is 2 guys enough for that?
Yeah, I think so.
Okay.
Have you
If not, I guess I'll go to work that day.
Has there been any history
Well,
of
we're sending our
issues?
bleachers down there, so it'll be all organized and everybody will be in the same spot.
Commissioner Hall?
Have you had any history with issues? I mean, because I know there's alcohol involved, because why else would you jump into that cold water?
I don't know, that's, yeah.
I mean, to me, they're nuts.
I mean, we just have the
but
same issues that we always have, and you have more people, then you're gonna amplify those same issues and just have more of those issues, so.
There should be a little bit more calm with the cold, I would
Yes,
think.
you'd think, but boy, that event, I remember when it first started, it was pretty small, and it's a huge event now.
It is. Any further questions? I'll take a motion.
Make a motion that we go ahead and sign the agreement with Lava for the fire and ice with the sheriff's office.
We have a motion. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Okay, thank
And
you.
I think Adam had an item of business that has to do with us.
On my list as well.
Okay, well then come on up,
Good
Adam.
morning, gentlemen. Adam McKinney, Chief Technical Officer, today as IT Director. We have been trying to get Apple to allow us to list the Sheriff's Department app in the Apple App Store for about 3 months now, and this is what they are indicating that they will accept as proof that we are a political organization. We submitted the charter documents both from Bingham County and Bannock County's first commission meeting as our charter information. The clerk's office was able to find that for us. They wouldn't accept it because it was handwritten. We then submitted copies of our IRS EIN letter that states that we are a organization delegated by the federal government. They wouldn't accept that either. And finally, we submitted a copy of the Idaho State Constitution where the codified boundaries of the county are found, and they wouldn't accept that either. And we actually found through the Sheriff's Department app that this is a new thing with Apple. They've gotten very stringent on who can publish apps in their app store. I even attempted at one point to say to them, you know what, cancel the free, the reason we're trying to get this is to get a tax exemption, not to have to pay. As a public safety entity, we don't have to pay. But I even said to them, we'll just pay. And they said no. So this is the final item that they told us. It's taken me many phone calls and many emails. This letter is all that we can do to have an authorization for us to be able to list this app in the App Store. And I'm just requesting a signature on it. The app is ready too.
What is the app? I forget.
So basically the app, and if you guys want to have a good example, you could
Bingham
just go,
County's.
Bingham County has that
Mhm.
the same app that we're going to have, but it really is just going to give information about what's going on in the county. It'll give alerts when we have emergencies in the county. We can list the sex offenders in the county on there. We can,
It's got the jail roster.
The jail roster, who's been incarcerated recently, and really we can put any information that we feel is important to the community on this app, they're really nice. And yeah, I'd encourage you to get on the App Store and look up Bingham Counties, and you can kind of see what it's like, and that's what ours is going to be like. We're pretty excited about it.
So are you trying to keep it sheriff information only, or could we use more county information on there as well?
Well, it would probably have to be county related to the sheriff's office information. But,
The company that we contracted with is called thesheriffsapp.com.
Yeah.
But they'll let you put basically any information we want. It is branded as a Bannock County Sheriff app, though.
Okay, good.
So my question of it is, with the hassles that they give you, what's their point of view? Why are they against it?
So the original list of items that they would accept as documentation that prove that we are a political entity are things like a business license, which we don't have, was we're an autonomous, a letter of incorporation, which we don't have because we're not a municipality, articles of incorporation, which we do have, however, they're handwritten, and they told us, there were no typewriters in 1893 that could take notes as quickly. So they simply have just become very stringent on what defines the reason for this is we will have status to publish without having fees charged to us. This is a free app, it's a free listing, and their big thing is I think they're trying to protect to make sure that if there were any revenue possibilities, that we're not trying to skirt that and get around it. And it just is one of those things where, as a county, we exist kind of in between a municipality and a state organization. And I was actually pretty surprised that our EIN letter from the IRS didn't qualify. The documents that the clerk found and that auditing provided to me, we were able to use for grants.gov to prove who we were. So Apple's even more stringent than the federal government, apparently.
I'm not against them being tough. I just,
Yeah, it's interesting.
with what they're dealing with all kinds of apps coming from every developer in the world, I'm not against that. I'm just curious what the reasoning was that they would accept all those.
And in speaking with the other, again, we thought this was, well, are we unique to this? And we talked to the Sheriff's Department app developer, and they told us this has been happening for the last 3 or 4 months. They've just tightened up their restrictions, and counties are having this issue. We're having to go through this. That's why it delegates our ID number, and that we're willing to accept their terms of service to list this app. I couldn't tell you what their reasoning behind it is, but I think it just has to do with, as you mentioned, more stringency on the apps, especially if you're going to publish one under the guise that it's a government entity. So
TikTok didn't die.
I was going to say,
no, it didn't.
you can see where all this is headed, and that's why,
I don't know if that's what they was worried about.
well, yeah, so.
Yeah, I completely agree. It is an interesting situation to have to go to this length to be recognized as an entity. It really is, but.
They don't do a mirror test, we're great.
All right, any further discussion?
With that, I would make the motion that the chairman would sign that on a signature on the letter designating the Apple Inc. as a developer.
Friendly amendment, it's all of us, not just me, on the signature.
Agree. Oh, okay.
Okay. So with
Well, I
that,
can't see.
That's my excuse.
Okay, with that,
we have a motion.
I will amend that motion, require, that would, all of us to sign that.
Okay. Any further discussion? All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Thank you.
Hey, thank you,
Appreciate it.
gentlemen. Christie.
Mr. Clauser, Comptroller, I have a quick request for the board. Adult probation has bought bulletproof vests for all of their employees. One of those employees left within the last month or 6 weeks. The bulletproof vests are fitted to the employee. That employee moved to Power County, and Power County asked if we could sell them that bulletproof vest, and then we'll use those funds to buy the replacement employee.
At a profit?
Vest. No.
Double the price. Power County has a lot of money.
I have an invoice. The ballistic panels are $588.55, and the actual vest was $228.42. So we would invoice them for $816.97 if the commission approves this. And if they do approve this, I'll have Nancy do a resolution. And legal has reviewed and is good with this.
Any questions? Okay, we'll do it.
Thank you.
All
Want
right.
that in the motion?
Do you need a motion, or you want to wait till we get the resolution?
Redundancy, do a motion and we'll do that.
Okay.
I'd make a motion to go ahead and sell a vest to Power County.
We have a motion. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Okay. Shanda.
Shanda Crystal, Chief Procurement Officer. I have 4 items before the board today. The first one is a potential signature on a change order with Teton West. If you'll recall, during the facilities update last week, Daniel mentioned finding that diesel tank down at the exhibit hall, and this is that change order that would adjust the contract. It is not in ARPA funds, just that contract is, so this would be outside of that.
And this is the one that we discussed the other day.
Yeah, for $2,800.
Yeah.
We were just gonna pay it out of bill.
I'm gonna work on, I need to work on this because there's a handful of items that Shanda's gonna review, that I need to work through ARPA and see what we can pay through ARPA and what we may not be able to. I'm anticipating paying it through ARPA. My first thought, pay it through ARPA and use the contingency funds that we have sitting to the side for the YDC building, just in case we don't need those. I'd rather get the ARPA money spent.
Yeah.
But until I do my ARPA report this week, I don't want to tell you that for a fact, but I will report back to the board once I have that all put together.
Okay.
Okay, any further questions on this one? I'll take a motion on this. I'm assuming we should do these one at a time, rather than all of them at once for a motion.
I would say so.
Yes.
Yeah, so I'll take a motion on this one.
I'll make a motion that we go ahead and approve this change order through Teton West.
Do we have a motion? Any further discussion? All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Okay, next.
The second item I have before the board is the potential signature on a quote from Sign Up for the courthouse and election signage as part of the 6th Street renovation. Dan and Emma went through and reviewed with various elected officials the needed signs as we get done with the renovation up front. And this is a list of what they came up with. I did just want to point out on that first, the new entrance door graphics, and they're removing the old ones. They have 3 here on the courthouse. They're going to do the front, the ADA, and then if we wanted to leave that courthouse employee only door, that would be the 3rd one if that was approved. And then there's 2 that are on the elections building on both doors.
Any questions?
No, there's one thing that I did talk to Emma about, and that was the ADA compliance and stuff that we talked about. I mean, when your son coming, things that maybe we need some signage somewhere about that type of stuff too.
Come on up, Emma.
And I guess to add a little more, I have a deaf son, and he was pretty frustrated coming up the front entrance, and he got up there, he couldn't hear the instructions. I guess he didn't see the necessary sign that he could have called, so I told him I'd bring it up. We went out and looked, they were really good. We probably need a sign a little further down the stairs instead of the one up there, at the same time trying to hear the voices, which he couldn't hear. And so anyway, so we were looking into some alternative bigger signs down to the ward at the bottom of the stairs that would make that more, it is frustrating for deaf people, let alone the other disabilities, but that was just the one that we had talked about it with the security, and they were going to try to put some proposals together.
Yeah.
Looking at not only the sign, the size, and the placement of it, so that they have a heads up before they get clear up there, and then they're only trying to hear through, I have a hard time understanding sometimes through there, so just whatever we can do. I don't know whether that be a separate deal than this, but which I'm okay with, because this bid probably doesn't have to do with it. But if we're spending something and then we have to turn around and repeat it or enhance it, I'd love to make sure that this is in the right place, the size of it is the right, you know, the fonts, because they could have vision issues as well as the hearing. So I just like to make sure we put this in the right place in conjunction with this. I'm not sure exactly what the words are that they're going to put on the graphics, but if we can look into that and make sure we only do it once.
So if I may, Emma Iannico, I'm Public Information Officer. To your point, Commissioner Bullock, I have been in contact with corporals, or no, I'm sorry.
Marshals.
The marshals both Sukting and Warner, to update all of that signage in both of the new entrance and the main entrance, including that hearing impaired signage to make that more obvious, as well as more permanent. Right now, a lot of what we have is printed out in a sleeve or taped to, and so I want to update all of that and be more cohesive with what we're doing to update the courthouse. So that will be addressed for sure. Thank you.
What about vision impaired? How do we deal with that?
We'll probably need some braille signage, so that'll be part of the discussion that we have with the marshals as well. As they see people come through of all types of abilities, they'll have better knowledge than I about what kind of signage we need to address that. So yes, thank you for bringing that up. To Commissioner Moser's point about having ADA signage be prominent on our ADA entrances for the courthouse and elections, that will be included in both the vinyl graphics that'll go on the door, as well as you'll notice on the second side of the page, we have the automatic door decals, so that'll indicate all of the doors that are automatic, so that people know that there's button, stand back, and whatnot. So that'll be included in the signage.
Okay. No, it's time to get this done. It's gone around and around.
Yep. Okay, take a motion on that then.
I'd make a motion that we go ahead and have the chair sign the agreement with Sign Up.
All in favor, we have a motion, all in favor say aye.
Aye.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
My next item, and it might be better well suited for Christie's update, but is the paying of an invoice for the YDC sewer when we redesigned it. We agreed to have that outside of the contract that we had with Booth Architecture, and then this is the final bill for that. When they finally found that connection was going to work for everybody, then he submitted his bill.
So do I just need to code this and get it authorized?
I think so. Sorry, I'm just passing stuff along for.
That's what I was told, is this needed to be coded still, so.
I'll have this ready for Thursday then. I didn't realize that was.
Yeah, I found out just coming up here, so are we okay to wait on this till Thursday, or do you want us to?
Yeah, that's perfect. So then the final item I have, excuse me, is a potential signature on the Divine Window Solutions proposal. That's for the security film. Dan also mentioned that last week in his update to the board, and this is the final invoice for that. It does look a little weird because it is electronic signature, so I PDF'd their website kind of and put this together for review. But that is what I'm requesting, is a potential electronic signature. If the board approves this, we'll jump back on their website and tell them it's a go. But
So would we approve you for the electronic signature?
with Dan out of the office today, that might be easier.
Okay. Any questions on this?
Nope.
Okay. Take a motion.
I'd go ahead and make a motion that
Divine,
Divine Window, that we sign this agreement with them.
and authorize Shan to
And,
electronically submit.
Authorize Shan to do the electronic signature.
Have a motion? Any discussion? All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
In favor.
Okay.
Thank you.
Not gonna lie, I've been waiting for this section. I'm excited for it. So Todd and Matt, come on up.
So Todd Mauger with Bannock County Juvenile Justice.
Matt Olson, Bannock County Juvenile Justice.
So we have two things on the agenda today. The first is the side agreement between Idaho State University and the AmeriCorps program. It's the affiliation agreement. I was notified by them in December. They should have had it to me in August to get done. But this is the same affiliation agreement that we have signed the last 2 years regarding the Idaho Gem State Public Health Program with AmeriCorps. The AmeriCorps members working or serving at the village, we've had between 5 and 9 each year. In the first 2 years, they have completed about 5,000 and 6,000 hours of service This year, we do have 9 AmeriCorps members, and we will be up in the 9 to 10,000 hour range of service. The way we're set up, they're providing a great support, and so just requesting that we be able to continue that affiliation.
Could you do what you do without them?
We could not do what we do without them.
Okay.
Well, we could, but I would have to have a cot at the building.
You're there enough. We don't want to have a cop there. Any questions on this?
No.
Okay. I would move that we approve the site agreement as presented. Any further discussion? All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Okay.
Okay, so towards the end of November, maybe it was before Thanksgiving, we were approached by the Idaho Department of Juvenile Corrections regarding an opportunity with the Urban Institute to evaluate the village and what we're doing there to keep status offending youth out of detention. In going through the Urban Institute, they're affiliated with the National Institute of Justice and the National Center for Juvenile and Family Court Judges. One of their goals is to evaluate and document how local communities' policies, practices, and programs reduce juvenile contact for truancy, runaway, and status offenses, including the strategies to comply with the DSO requirements. That's basically keeping the status offenders out of the detention center. So what they did is they evaluated and completed interviews with 29 states to assess the DSO strategies across the state jurisdictions. Basically what they did is they came up with 3 sites that they wanted to evaluate, and Idaho was one of those. And the Idaho Department of Juvenile Corrections reached out to Bannock County Juvenile Justice in the village to evaluate what we're doing within that intake and diversion unit in getting help for these kids without criminalizing them, placing them in detention. So what we have today, what they're planning to do is do an evaluability assessment, and they're going to create 2 or 3 focus groups with youth and families currently or previously engaged in Bannock County's efforts. They're going to interview 5 to 20 stakeholders, system actors such as school resource officers, police, court administrators, judges, probation, child welfare, school reps, and community-based organizations. Along with, I believe they're going to get into our policies and procedures, take a look at our data and outcomes. So what I'm here to do today is ask for permission and signature on the data use agreement between the Urban Institute and the Bannock County Juvenile Justice Department. And you may have more questions, but I'm willing to answer them the best I can.
I read through that, and that seemed like a pretty thorough exam that they're looking to do. But my first question was, what makes us unique that we qualified to even have them come do this?
So I believe when you look at the state, we had, and Matt can probably has the numbers in his head. I don't have the numbers in my head, but we had significant numbers of violations of the valid court order where status offenders, and not necessarily us, statewide, and in 5 years it went from a significant amount of violations to 0, which I think is probably what spurred them to Idaho. And then when they approached the Department of Juvenile Corrections, they used their data, and Matt has, with what we've done over the since 2004 with the intake and diversion unit being developed, and really taking advantage of those evidence-based practices and implementing them in our county, we've been able to create specific programs for those status offenders, whether it be truancy, runaway, the beyond parental control stuff with the status offender program, the truancy court program. And so our numbers are our data over the years has been really good as far as that goes. And then I think with the addition of the village and how we're getting upstream of juvenile crime, and then with the state providing us the funding through those grants to to implement. I think it built that relationship, and they're kind of looking for some support on their end to satisfy the evaluation, which I think will provide us with a great opportunity to have an evaluation completed, to where if there's other grants or funding, we'll already be evaluated, and basically just to continue to improve on what we're doing. We'll be able to take the feedback and build on that.
Matt, you anything?
I agree with what Todd has shared. I think Idaho was out of compliance for probably 5 years in terms of placing status offenders in detention, and those are violations with the Juvenile Justice and Delinquency Prevention Act, and we've been able to get back into compliance as a state. But I think Bannock County Juvenile Justice has always been conscientious, and that was part of the intake and diversion unit's role, really. I think this is a reflection of the great work that's being done in the intake and diversion unit, and it's been done for a long time. And they're looking for ways to find out what are the policies and procedures and things that you do that they hope to be able to replicate as they go to other jurisdictions and share that information. So I think it's a great opportunity. As Todd said, it's one of our really core principles as we continue to evaluate and look for areas to improve. We've certainly benefited from people sharing information with us, and we look forward to people being able to see the great work that's being done in intake and diversion unit and in Todd's group at the village and everything they're doing there. And we'll learn some things about ourselves in the process, but we're continually looking for ways to improve. And I think it's the reason why the invitation came to the village is because the intake and diversion unit has consistently performed at a very high level in terms of its commitment to provide services to kids and families in a way that prevents them from having to come into the justice system to get those services. So.
Love it, love it. Well, I was excited when I saw that. Wasn't quite as excited when I read through the whole packet.
Right, that was one of the big things is weighing out. Like, we're in the first 2 years of implementation, and do we take on too much and worry about the quality of what we're doing in the community? And I think in looking and it goes back to the AmeriCorps members, they're able to do data and things like that, and provide the support, and everybody at the village was on track and wanting to do and participate. So I think it's a good opportunity to move forward and improve what we're doing and share with others. Cool.
Any further discussion, questions?
I'll make the motion that we would approve the study with, what's their names?
Urban Institute.
Urban Institute.
All right, we have a motion. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Well, go forth and continue to do great things.
All right. Thank you.
Good job, guys.
Thank you.
All right. Move on to the business. We have 3 resolutions. Resolution 2025-06, appointing myself as chairman. Resolution 2025-07, authorizing destruction of records. And Resolution 2025-08, validating Garden Creek Road as a public right-of-way. Any discussion on those?
Good.
So I'll entertain a motion.
Mr. Chair, I'd make a motion that we approve resolution number 2025-05, 06, and 07.
Have a motion. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Aye. We had 8 too.
Yeah, I was
No,
gonna
that was
say.
8.
Yeah, just
did
6,
wrong.
7, and 8.
So it was 6, 7, and 8, not 5.
Okay.
So an amendment to that motion. Let's get the right numbers.
All right, we're good there then. So we have salary approval. Any questions on that? Hearing none, I'll move that we approve the salary approval form as presented. All in favor? Aye.
Aye.
And then the last one is, looks like certification of minutes.
I'll make a motion that we go ahead and certify the minutes. I assume that's January 9th, 13th, and 14th.
That is correct.
of 2025.
Okay. We have a motion. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Okay. And with that, we are adjourned for